Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like over on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Friday, April the 4th. We got 10 games on this Friday night slate, so, relatively big slate, guys. I've got some early player props I do like for tonight, taking a first look at the board Thursday night when I'm recording this video, giving you guys some early plays, 3 plays that we're going to break down, talk about in this video. Right now we have props up for 4 of the 10 games, so obviously we don't have a full board yet, but typically when I do these videos the night before, there's usually not a full board available. As always, I do give out more Prizepicks plays every day over on Patreon, so if you guys want more Prizepicks plays from me, you can check out the Patreon linked down below in the description. But we got 3 plays to break down for Friday. We're going to talk through these plays, again, share why I like them. Before we do that though, make sure you guys hit that like button down below if you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, and if you don't have an account over there, sign up, use promo code NOAH, and when you play your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So this is an easy way to build up your bankroll on Prizepicks. You're going to get $50 instantly just for playing your just for playing a $5 lineup. So make sure to sign up for Prizepicks, guys, and again, use that code NOAH when you do sign up. And also, we do have a partnership with Sleeper, so I want to shout out Sleeper as well. If you guys don't have an account on Sleeper, you can sign up, use promo code NOAH over there, and when you play $5, you're going to get $55 worth of free lineups. So this is another cool promotion that Sleeper does, and it's a way for you to build your bankroll up. You don't have to sign up and deposit a bunch of money. Some of these sites want to entice you with the deposit bonus, and they want to have you put in $200, $300, $400. Obviously, with this promo, you don't have to do that. You can deposit the minimum, and you can still get those $55 worth of free lineups. All you have to do is play a $5 lineup, win or lose, doesn't matter. You'll still get those free lineups. So if you guys want to go try out Sleeper, they're a DFS pick'em app. They're very similar to Prizepicks and all the other DFS pick'em apps that you see around the industry. Sign up, make a deposit, and again, use that code NOAH when you do sign up for Sleeper. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and talk about some props that I like for today, for Friday. Now, I do want to recap our plays from our video on Thursday. And we gave out 2 picks Thursday. We went 2-0. So hopefully you guys tailed, made some money with us. We took Franz Wagner over first half fantasy score, which cashed. And then we took Adem Bona over fantasy score, which also cashed. Both were relatively sweat-free. I think Wagner went over his first half line with 6 minutes left in the first half, so it wasn't too sweaty. And then Bona went over his line, I think, in the third quarter. So 2 pretty easy cashes on Thursday. Let's see if we can get 3 easy cashes here on Friday. Again, we got 3 plays. Let's go ahead and break them down. So the first prop that I like for today is going to be a prop on Malik Monk. And we're going to take Malik Monk for more than 22.5 PRA. So Malik Monk has kind of been struggling lately. You look at his recent games, he's really struggled, from a shooting perspective. He's had some very inefficient shooting games, and I took an over on Malik Monk. I can't remember what day it was. I think it was the day they played. It was the day they played the Pacers. I took his over fantasy score that day, and he played terrible. He had 5 turnovers. I can't remember how many fantasy points he finished with, but you look at his games lately, and you look at his shooting. So last game against the Wizards, he shot 4 for 13. The game against the Pacers, he shot 2 for 14. The game against the Magic, he lost minutes for blowout. Shot 4 for 9 in that game, but he didn't play anywhere near full minutes. And then the game against Portland, that was his first game back from illness. As you can see, he played March 20th against Chicago, and then he was out for a week with an illness. And in his first game back from illness, he played limited minutes. He only played I think 17 minutes that game. 17 minutes, so he was very limited in the game against Portland. Next game against Orlando, played 23 minutes, but did lose minutes for blowout. Didn't play at all in the fourth quarter. Next game against the Pacers, did play 29 minutes, just shot the ball terribly, 2 for 14. And then last game against the Wizards, he did get up to 35 minutes. So it was good to see Malik Monk play 35 minutes last game. He still came off the bench, and I'm not sure if they're going to continue to bring Malik Monk off the bench or if he's going to move back into the starting lineup at some point. But I think regardless, we can expect Monk to probably play over 30 minutes, whether he starts or comes off the bench. Obviously, you feel a little bit better about his minutes if he's back in the starting lineup. But the fact that he's played 29 and 35 minutes the last 2 games, even while playing like shit, he's been playing terrible, and they're still playing him a ton of minutes the last 2 games. And you would have to think at some point he's going to figure out how to shoot the ball again. Malik Monk's not going to continue to shoot as bad as he has. I mean, his last 2 games, he's combined to shoot 6 for 27. Like, that's just not going to happen. He's eventually going to start making shots. You would think in a matchup against Charlotte, pretty good spot here versus a bad defense. This is definitely a spot where Malik Monk should have a good shot, a good chance to get going, make some shots. And when Malik Monk has come off the bench this season and played at least 30 minutes, he is over this PRA line in 3 out of 5 games. One of the games that he went under was obviously last game against the Wizards, where he played 35 minutes but shot the ball terribly, 4 for 13. His other games this season, coming off the bench and playing at least 30 minutes, he has had 21 PRA, 19, 44, 41, 29. I mean, Malik Monk's been a productive player when he gets minutes. Obviously, no De'Aaron Fox, so there's plenty of usage available with Fox no longer on the team. And Monk should be a guy that soaks up some of that usage, especially if he comes off the bench. I mean, if he comes off the bench, he's going to be playing a lot with the second unit, so he's going to have the ball in his hands a good amount. I know whenever Fox got traded, we saw Malik Monk's assist rate really spike. His assist rate lately hasn't been as high. Like, he hasn't been racking up as many assists, but he's been able to take on a bigger ball handling role with Fox out, no longer on the team. And obviously in a matchup here against Charlotte, you would think there's going to be opportunities for assists. Just facing a bad defensive team, should be able to convert some of those potential assists. Rebounding wise, you don't expect Monk to get a bunch of rebounds, but he did have a 7 rebound game recently against the Pacers. He did have 3 rebounds the game before, or last game against the Wizards. So he can get you 3 or 4 boards. Probably can get you 5 or 6 assists. If the assists are converting at a high rate. And then scoring wise, again, you would think the scoring is going to come back for Monk. He's not going to continue to shoot the ball as poorly as he has been. So kind of like betting on a Malik Monk, kind of bounce back here. I know, again, I bet on him recently and he was terrible. But again, with player props, man, you got to have a short memory. Like, you can't let your emotions take over. And if Malik Monk goes out there and plays like shit again, so be it. I'll look for props on him, whenever there's value. And I see some value here. He may hit, he may not, but I see value in this play. Like the matchup here for Monk, and I think the role with him getting up to 35 minutes last game, that was the really promising sign. Even with him shooting the ball terribly, still played 35 minutes. So that's what we're going to take as our first prop for today, guys. Next prop I like is going to be a prop on Kyle Filipowski. So Kyle Filipowski should be looking at a bigger role today with Walker Kessler out for this game. Now, Filipowski has already been starting, but he'll move over to center, and he'll start at center now with Walker Kessler out. And Filipowski's been really good as a starting center without Walker Kessler. So if you look at his last just 8 games or so without Kessler in the starting lineup, Filipowski has had 30 PR, 31, 23, 36, 32, 29, 31, and 27. So over his last 8 games that he has started without Walker Kessler, he's over this PR line in 7 out of 8. So we're going to take Kyle Filipowski for more than 25.5 PR. Now let's kind of break down this prop a little bit more and talk about why I like this play. So you can see even in some games recently that Kessler has played in, Filipowski has still gone over this line. Went over against Charlotte, went over against Denver. He has struggled though in tougher matchups. He really struggled against Houston, struggled against Houston again, struggled against Memphis. This should be a pretty good matchup for him against the Pacers. The Pacers have been a good matchup for centers this season. They're giving up a lot of points in the paint. I think they're top 5 in points in the paint allowed this year. They've also been a team you can beat on the glass, and Filipowski has been really good as a rebounder, especially when he is starting at center. Just when he started at center without Walker Kessler, he's had 10, 11, 11, 13, 7, 11, 13, and 13 rebounds over his last 8 games starting at center in place of Kessler. So the rebounding numbers have been strong for Filipowski. It's a good rebounding matchup. The Pacers are top 10 in rebounds allowed to centers this season. They give up a lot of points in the paint as well. And although this game does have a really big spread, I think right now it's a 15.5 point spread. The Jazz are obviously a terrible team. They get blown out a lot. They're not really trying to win games. But one thing that I do like about the Jazz is they will play these young guys in blowouts. And we saw last game, Filipowski still played even in the blowout. They lost last game to Houston by 40 points, I think. Let me see if I can find the final score to that game. So the final score was 105-43. They lost by 38 points. And even with them losing by 38 points, Filipowski still played 31 minutes, and he played the final 4.5 minutes of the game. He played most of the third quarter, sat for a little bit, and then he subbed back in with 4.5 minutes left and played the final 4.5 minutes of the game. So they're still playing Filipowski 30-plus minutes even in blowouts. So if this game does blow out, I don't think it's the worst case scenario because Filipowski should still get minutes even in a blowout. And the matchup's really strong. Again, the Pacers have struggled, against centers this season. Also worth noting that Pascal Siakam's questionable for this game, and if Pascal Siakam doesn't play, probably makes the matchup even better for Filipowski taking Siakam off the floor. So, like that is our second prop for today, and then the third and final prop that I like is going to be on Anthony Davis, and we're going to take Anthony Davis for more than 30.5 PR. So, Anthony Davis returned from injury and was playing limited minutes. So his last 5 games have been since he's come back from injury. He's only played 6 games with the Mavs. It's been a small sample. He played that first game against Houston and he was really, really good. Had 26, 16, and 7, but then he got injured and he was out for like over a month, almost 2 months. Came back against Brooklyn, played limited minutes, only 27 minutes. Then he got up to 29 minutes against Orlando. Then he got up to 30 minutes against Chicago. Then his minutes dropped back down. He only played 28 minutes against Brooklyn. But last game we saw AD play 30 minutes, and it's worth noting that AD did have to go to the locker room. If you look at the rotations last game, he subbed out, I want to say, early in the second quarter. Yeah, he played the first 6 minutes of the game, subbed out for to take a break, subbed back in with about 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter, played out those final 2.5 minutes, and then he had to go to the locker room. So he didn't come back in until there was 2 minutes left in the second quarter. So he missed most of the second quarter because he was in the locker room. But he wound up playing through the injury. Obviously, the injury that he suffered was not very serious because he played through it. And he went off last game, had 49 PR. It was his best game since he's joined the Mavs. And it was only a matter of time before AD was going to start to get going again. I mean, if you look at the games where he had gone under this PR line, like a lot of the games where he had gone under, he had just shot the ball really bad. The Orlando game, he shot 5 for 19. The Chicago game, he shot 7 for 23. Like, AD is a very efficient scorer because he's a guy that scores a lot of his points around the rim, and obviously it's a lot easier to score around the rim than it is to score from behind the arc, especially when you're as big as AD is. Now the matchup here against the Clippers, on paper, probably not the best matchup for AD, but AD is just one of these guys, man. He's pretty much matchup proof. Like, it doesn't really matter what the matchup is. When AD is healthy, when he's playing at his best, he can dominate in any matchup. And I think we're getting some lower lines on AD here just because, again, he's returning from injury. There's uncertainty maybe with his minutes. But the fact that he was able to play 30 minutes last game without getting barely any minutes in the second quarter because, again, he had to go to the locker room, that kind of makes me assume we're going to get close to full minutes here from AD. Now, it is worth noting that this is the front end of a back-to-back for the Clippers. The Clippers do play again not the Clippers, the Mavericks. The Mavericks do play again on Saturday. They play the Clippers again on Saturday. So I think there's a very good chance that if AD plays tonight, AD is listed as questionable, worth noting. If he does play, there's a very good chance that he's going to sit and not play on Saturday. So honestly, it kind of makes sense for them to maybe give AD some extra minutes here if they know they're not going to play him on Saturday because of the back-to-back. So I'm expecting probably 32 to 33 minutes here from AD. They've been coming out with these quotes that like, oh yeah, he's going to be limited to 24 to 28 minutes. Like they said that the game against Brooklyn when he played 28 minutes. But then there was no minutes limit quote the Atlanta game. Like I want to say AD was going to play 32, 33 minutes that game had he not gone to the locker room. So if we're going to get over 30 minutes from AD, it's a good opportunity to buy low here on some really low lines on him. I mean, this was a player on the Lakers. When he was healthy on the Lakers, his PR line would typically be like 39.5, 40.5. Obviously on the Mavs, his role's a little bit different, but if anything, his role's better on the Mavs. You look at his usage rate on the Mavs, it's at 30, it's over 30%. I know it's a small sample. He's only played 6 games with the Mavs, but he's got over a 30% usage rate. Like he's been very, very involved in the offense when he's been on the floor. And he's starting to look healthy again. The minutes are starting to tick back up. So like buying low on AD here, like him for more than 30.5 PR. So these are 3 picks, guys, that we're going to roll with for Friday's NBA slate. 10 games tonight, so it should be a fun slate, big slate, a lot of games. Wanted to give you guys some early plays I did like, taking a first look at the board on Thursday night when I'm recording this video. Again, guys, appreciate you watching these Prizepicks videos and supporting the content that I do put out here on YouTube. Hit that like button down below if you do enjoy these videos. Hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to go check out Prizepicks. If you're not signed up for Prizepicks yet, use promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks, so that way you get those $50 in promo funds when you play your first $5 lineup. But that's pretty much all I've got, guys. Appreciate you watching. As always, appreciate your support. Let's make some money tonight, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.